I'd like to call this meeting of the Festus City Council to order. Before we have a roll call, I would like to have a moment of silence for the victims of the shooting at the Central Visual and Performing Arts High School today. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Here.
Councilman Collier, Councilwoman Templeton, Councilman Weiner,
Here.
Councilman Dennis,
Here.
Councilman Vins,
Here.
Councilman Cook,
Here.
Councilman Tenen.
Here. Councilman Collier's here.
Oh, okay.
Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Tonight we have bills for $377,773.63.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen,
Yes.
Councilman Vins,
Oh. Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier.
Yes.
Motion has passed. The consent agenda is approved. Remarks of visitors.
We received none, sir.
All righty. Bids. The first bid we have tonight is the purchase of a new Freightliner single axle dump truck with snow plow and spreader. Bid was for $192,946.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, before your contemplation this evening is the purchase of a new dump truck. Knowing that we haven't got the ones that we ordered last year, but we're hoping that this cycle will be a little bit quicker. This truck is about $20,000 more than what it cost last year, just to give you a little bit of perspective. But otherwise, it's just virtually the same physical truck that we've been getting and adding to our fleet. I'm happy to answer any questions if you'd like.
Hey, Matt, where we at on budget on this? Are we right at budget? Are we over or under?
The budget is $200,500 and the total is 192,946. So we're just under budget.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the bid for $192,246 from Truck Centers Incorporated and the Viking Kives for the fabrication and installation of the dump bed, snowplow spreader, and safety lights.
So moved.
Some motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Vins,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen.
Yes.
Motion passes by your Freightliner. Or at least order it. Second bid is from Public Works for an F-350 with utility body. And that is for $77,500.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of City Council. Again, for your contemplation this evening is the purchase of what is going to be a F-350, but originally in the budget, this was programmed as an E-350, which would have been a van body. Ford stopped making those van bodies, and so we had to pivot to a pickup truck body chassis. This is going to have a box on the back of it. I included a photograph in the packet, so you had an idea of what we're talking about. This is going to be used when the guys are out on a waterline break, and it's either 106 degrees or 20 below. They can get into the truck, they can warm up, they can change clothes, they can have parts and materials they need in order to address, a waterline break and that type of situation. And then it's also going to replace 2 trucks. So 2 trucks are coming out of service. This 1 truck's coming in. So those other 2 trucks will be sold in Purple Wave, perhaps in coming weeks. Unfortunately, this vehicle is over budget by $1,775. Again, it's a function of changing from the van body to the truck body or the truck chassis from what was a van chassis. You guys, I'm sure, have seen those where they're coming down the highway and all they have is the cab on them and then just the rolling chassis behind.
And does this have access from the cab to the back?
I don't know that. No, it does not. No, sir.
About getting heat there, I'm just wondering.
Well, I think it has its own unit on the roof.
And it's a 3/4 ton capable of pulling anything.
I guess we could. Yes, sir. We do have a good amount of 3/4 ton trucks, but we could put a hitch on it and it could tow a trailer as well.
Hey, Greg and Stephanie, when would you guys do your first quarterly review on the budget to see where we're at on make sure what percentages we are over or under on departments?
All the days that end in Y. Yeah, we do a monthly. Stephanie is very good about getting year to date to departments each month, which is something we started a couple of years ago, just so that department directors have a better sense of where they are each month within the fiscal year. So they'll get a report in November on their October year to date, which will be just the first 30 days of the month, 31 days of the month. So we do stay on top of that pretty regularly.
Since that's being generated, can you slip that into the council packet on a per month basis too?
It's a substantial amount of documents. We can certainly send it out in an email if you like. We can include them in the packets, that's for sure.
Or a quick LY, quarterly LY comparison to last year, just do a 1 table.
Okay. Yeah.
If that's possible. I don't need everything, just a quick annual LY would be great for me.
You want that broke down by department or just city performance to date?
City performance to date.
Okay.
It was-
We can do that.
it'll
Just
get-
expense. Okay,
Yeah, helps me track my numbers.
Mhm. absolutely.
That 350 is a 1 ton. 250 is a 3/4.
Yeah, this is a
You're
full
right.
one. This is a full ton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
it's full
You're
one
right.
ton.
It's gonna be a big one.
Matt, will that be painted by that company? On order for a painted red or
You know what? I don't know that it
says
says.
body painted Ford red, customer provide paint code before ordering body.
Okay, yeah, so well, it'll be matching. It'll be a matching to the Ford factory color. Yes, sir.
We'll match our other trucks too.
So you guys chose to go with gas over diesel?
Yeah, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
That's
Are
the
are
one.
most of their trucks diesel or
Pardon
gas?
me?
Are most of the trucks diesel or gas?
The ones we've gotten lately have been diesels. But for a vehicle like this, I don't think that if you have a heavy duty motor, I don't think it's gonna hurt it at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the big motor in it.
Yeah. That's a big block, yeah.
A lot more businesses are switching to gas because they're tired of all the crap you gotta do for diesel.
Yeah.
Plug it in, put the DEF
The
fluid.
new DEF fluid is a
It's
pain in the neck.
getting to be a pain. So more people are starting to order gasoline than they are.
Then they are diesel.
We've gotten word from that. So even schools are even thinking about doing more gas because they're tired of what's
See.
going on.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept a bid for $77,500 for
Correction, sir, that'd be 79,275 because of the overrun.
I'm sorry, yes, 79,275. Thank you. I had the wrong one circled.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Tinnen,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Motion passes. Go ahead and buy that truck. Next bid we have is for the purchase and installation of garage door openers from Doors and More for $6,100.
Mr. Mayor, members of City Council, this is a replacement of existing openers. Those existing openers will be removed and then reinstalled over at the sewer shed. So where the Vector truck is over behind the Public Works building. So we'll reuse those, but these will be in a environment that get used more frequently at the maintenance barn. So these are replacing existing units at the maintenance facility, vehicle maintenance facility. And the bid was under budget. $6,100 is the low bid, and the budget was $7,000.
Is there any discussion?
Just one thing, even though the amount came in quite a bit over what the winning bid was, thank you for including same-day door service on Main Street in the bidding process. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the bid for $6,100 from Doors and More. Motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Tinnen,
Yes.
Councilman Benz.
Yes.
Motion passes. Go ahead and get your garage doors. Next bid we have is for the purchase and installation of the fencing at 500 Ridge Avenue.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, Council, this is also an improvement at the city garage or the vehicle maintenance facility. We have a little bit of a security issue there. We've got a fence around 75% of that building, except for the portion that's near the wall and where that recycling area is. We put a new concrete wall in there last year. Those big Lego blocks, you've probably seen that on the east side of the property. And that's near where the yard waste recycling is, but there's no fencing there to preclude people from getting access to that area, and it really needs to be kept secure. We don't want kids climbing that wall, falling in the dumpster, for heaven's sakes, and we certainly don't want people rummaging through our vehicles that are being worked on there in that back lot. So this cures that security issue that we have. The budget was $6,000 and the low bid from Imperial Fence is $5,182.
I'll entertain it. Is there any discussion? I'll entertain a motion to approve the bid of $5,182 from Imperial Fence.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Tinnen,
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Collier.
Yes.
Motion passes. Go ahead and purchase your fence. Next, we have a bid for exercise equipment for $5,262.86.
Last time, I promise.
Okay,
Mr. Mayor, members of City Council, again, for your review and approval is the new ration of exercise equipment to be put in the city gym. The budget for this year was $7,000. What we are asking for you to approve this evening is $5,262.86 for a new treadmill, a back extension bench, and a new elliptical. I say new because these are refurbished units. They were in a facility somewhere else in the United States and on a lease. They came back off that lease. They were refurbished, and now we're purchasing them at a much reduced price.
We've used them before.
Yep. These will be a substantial substantially better machines than what are there now.
Does the gym get used quite a bit, Matt?
Well, I know that I'm there pretty frequently, and I know that the police officers are there quite often too. So I would say so, yes, sir.
So what do you have, like a key? You can go there anytime?
Yep. Now there's a key that gets you access, and then yeah, I think that it's permissible to go anytime.
Well, that's good. Good idea.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. I'll entertain a motion to accept a bid of $5,262.86 from Johnson Fitness and Wellness for commercial gym equipment.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Tinnin,
Yes.
Councilman Vins.
Yes.
Motion passes. Go ahead and purchase the gym equipment.
Thank you.
And we have one more bid. And that is for an F-550 cab and chassis.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council. Tonight, I am requesting the purchase of a Ford F-550 from Joe Mockins Ford for $55,209. The reason it's just cab and chassis tonight is because Mockins is giving us a one-day window to order a truck this year. And we need PO in hand by then. I'm still working with Viking Savez on a dump body quote to associate with this truck down the road. Hopefully should bring that to the next council meeting. This truck will replace a 2008 that's currently in service that is well past its prime.
Is there any questions?
Where to come in on budget at?
We're just shy of 77,000 to finish off the truck. 130,000.
So that's quite a bit. You're going to smile a little bit with that. Okay.
Let's see whether bed quote comes at first.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the purchase of an F-550 from Joe Mackins Ford for $55,209.
So moved.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Vins,
Yes.
Councilman Tinnin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Make sure you get it in before the 7th of November or that day. Okay. Tonight, for ordinances and resolutions, we have bill number 4701 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4701, an ordinance authorizing the city of Festus, Missouri to enter into an equipment lease purchase agreement in connection with the acquisition and installation of certain improvements and authorizing certain other documents and actions in connection therewith.
Bill 4701 is now open for discussion. Can I have a staff report, please?
Certainly, Mayor, City Council, and our friend Martin Gafuri from Stiefel is here to answer any detailed questions you may have, but this is to execute the lease agreement that we approved pursuing with Webster Bank at our last meeting. This has been reviewed by legal counsel along with our bond counsel at Gilmore and Bell. And this will, and the good news, as we had mentioned in our update last week, that due to some extra work performed by Verigy to nail down some pricing to make sure that we're current and up to date, that we've been able to reduce the total cost of the improvements by about $200,000.
Is there any discussion? If not, do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4701 for the second time in title only?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4701 for the second time?
Bill number 4701, an ordinance authorizing the city of Festus, Missouri to enter into an equipment lease purchase agreement in connection with the acquisition and installation of certain improvements and authorizing certain other documents and actions in connection therewith. Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Collier.
Yes.
Bill 4701 has passed. We have Bill 4702 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4702, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute a contract with Control Technology and Solutions LLC, a Missouri limited liability company, and Verigy LLC, incorporating said contract as part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date.
Staff report, please.
Now that we have the money for the project fund, this is the project. And I do want to take a moment to thank Matt Unrein for the work that he's done to coordinate with a variety of contractors and subcontractors who've come in and obviously looked at these improvements, which is, again, I think facilitated us being able to get such a good price, especially in this environment. The timetable on being able to complete this is going to be a lengthy one, but the good news that we did receive is we're hoping that by April or May of next year, we will have all of the new AMR meters in and can begin making those installations. Those will be the residential and commercial meters. That's the largest chunk of this project, about $900,000 altogether. But we've talked about those AMR meters and the benefits they provide to our residents and also to our staff. Happy to answer any questions.
Is there any discussion on Bill 4702? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4702 for the second time in title only.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4702 for the second time?
Bill number 4702, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute a contract with Control Technology and Solutions LLC, a Missouri limited liability company, and Verigy LLC, incorporating said contract as part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date. Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen,
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Bill 4702 has passed. We also have Bill 4703 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4703, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an engagement letter on behalf of the City of Festus with Gilmore and Bell PC to act as bond counsel for the city on an as-needed basis, incorporating said engagement letter as part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date.
Staff report, please.
Yes, sir. Mayor, City Council, on the advice of legal counsel, we use Mark Grimm with Gilmore Bell. He has been a longstanding attorney in the bond counsel field and at Gilmore Bell. He also helped represent us on the ordinance that you approved tonight for the lease agreement. We felt that it was a good idea to have them available to us as just as a on needed or as needed basis. in the event that we do have any other financing packages or need some advice in the future. Brian recommended that we go ahead and execute a as needed engagement letter with Gilmore and Bell.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve or to read Bill 4703 for the second time in title only. Motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4703 for the second time?
Bill number 4703, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an engagement letter on behalf of the City of Festus with Gilmore and Bell PC to act as bond counsel for the city on an as-needed basis, incorporating said engagement letter as part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date. Councilman Cook.
Yep.
Councilman Boyer.
Yep.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilman Benz.
Yes.
Councilman Tinnen.
Yes.
Councilman Collier.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Bill 4703 has passed. Moving right along, new business.
Yes, sir. Mayor, City Council, for your consideration this evening, as we talked about 2 weeks ago, looking ahead at November and December, the meeting that would fall on the 28th of November is also the same night as the Twin City Christmas Parade. I know despite your offers of being willing to drive the mayor's car in the parade, I think he would prefer to do it himself. We would propose to move that meeting to the next day, the 29th. And then our second meeting in December falls on the 26th, which is the day that we'll be observing Christmas Day. As we have done in the past, the idea to have just one meeting on the third Monday, which gives us enough time in December to collect accounts receivable and doesn't put us so far away from our next meeting in January.
Is there any discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to move the second council meeting in November to the 29th instead of the 28th. And then have a one meeting in December on the 19th.
So moved.
moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Any old business?
None, sir.
Councilman Boyer.
I'd just like to say that the water department did a fantastic job getting out there as quick as they did and responding, and getting that problem taken care of with the 8-inch water line break. They did a fine job, and just wanted to congratulate those guys on that. Talked to Greg about the striping on South Mill. It's all looking real good down through there. So striping would finish it off pretty nice.
As soon as I have a date for that, Dave, I'll pass that along to council.
Okay. Other than that, I think it's all I have, sir.
Thank you very much, Councilman Weiner.
Just a couple things. The South Mill project continues to look good. So absolutely very good work there. The tragedy that happened up in St. Louis today, it was our police department that possibly kept that from happening here within the last month approximately, so I think we need to take pause and just be thankful for the heads up action of the department down here. The Verigy Energy, I think that's a big deal. I'm glad to see the city moving forward with that. And that's all I have, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman Cook.
Yes, sir. A few things. So everybody's patience. I'm just going to read off a few things. Greg, the crews, I'm very happy with the 8-inch water main break, but I'm a big believer in self-reflection. I think there's several things the city didn't do well that I'd like to see us improve on. So what I'm requesting is moving forward, if we can just pick a day and call it annual emergency day. I don't really care, but let's do a mock simulation of this happening again. So we don't have what happened again and we kind of fumble the ball a little bit. I think we did a good job in some areas. I think in some areas we did not. And I share that burden because I sit on the council and I should have had a better handle myself on situations. And unfortunately, this was a learning curve for me. So I accept responsibility on my part, but I do want to come up with some type of program that way. Doesn't always have to be a water main break. It can be other emergencies, but this did open my eyes up. With that being said, can we please put in the next water bill statement and on the website how to sign up for Code Red again? There was a lot of feedback on social media on that. Like to see a push done on that. With that, is there any consideration or discussion on the future on emergencies? We have really nice storm sirens and they do get people's attention. So I'd like to see that be part of it as well as part of the reflection program. To our attorney, subrogation. I mean, we dumped what, 4 million gallons, first time in our city history. We completely drained our systems. Is there any type of subrogation we're going to get back on this? I mean, if we'd had a fire, correct me if I'm wrong, but we would have had a really nightmare situation.
That's something I'll look into a little bit further. As of right now, my understanding is that Greg's been in contact with the contractor and they've, I guess, indicated that they'll be providing a name and number for people to make claims to. They'll be receiving those. For now, we're just going to kind of have to see how the process plays out, and I'll be available to explore what other options we need if they're not able to make everyone whole that they need to make whole.
And another question, since we dumped that much water out and we buy it from the water authority, shouldn't we be able to bill the subcontractor?
Yeah.
Okay, you're on it then.
Just real quick, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and finish your thoughts. I just thought it's specific to Sunrise Telecom.
Sure.
That was the contractor that was performing the work. They did get back to us today. They have set up a telephone number Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 for businesses and residents who are impacted by the water main break and the boil water advisory. That is 636-226-4242. I circulated that information. In fact, that information just went out. And we will continue to push that information out for businesses and residents who are impacted by either the break, because I know there was some property damage. Chuck and I talked about that today. I did speak with our carrier, and obviously they're like, no, we didn't do anything wrong. That's going to be completely on them. So residents who had some yard damage from the break need to contact Sunrise. They also businesses that had to either close or alter operations because of that will need to contact Sunrise. And again, that's 636-226-4242.
Could we throw that in the monthly water
Yep.
bill too?
Yep,
And
absolutely.
when we do our self-reflection on this situation, please, let's consider all departments.
Mhm.
Because I do know when I was at the park on Sunday, there was no sign posted at all. And people were using the water systems, and I saw some trying to use it for their animals. I politely told them we're under a boil order, but I think that could fall under our self-reflection. And last but not least, Mayor, thanks to the moment of silence. That was very respectful, and I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
All righty. Councilman Dennis.
Just to reiterate, like I said, after any incident, you always do what you could do better, and I think we're doing that. I think our people, as usual, did a great job of responding and taking care of business. Got a lot of thank yous, and I hope that we give them a little letter or something of above and beyond service that they give us. Once again, did you say, Greg, that we will be putting on the city website the how-tos on the Code Red again?
Yeah, I think, and he's here in the audience tonight, so I want to thank Marcus Shepard, who was pretty diligent in either one, identifying some deficiencies that we had with the Code Red system, I think there were certainly there were more than some complaints about either the speed in which the messages went out, no messages being received, or the time between a text message and a call message. Some folks got one, some folks got both. So we want to spend some time working on that, obviously, but you can go directly to our website under How Do I? You can click on emergency notifications and it will take you to our code red page. But I think we can make that a little more obvious. And
Right.
we will get that posted as soon as possible.
You know, and with that said, not everything that was done was wrong. Like I said, it's quick to point out things that didn't go right, but there was a lot of things that did. And there was a lot of sources of information out there. Like I said, as long as I've been on the council, I've never seen anything like this happen. So a little bit of a learning curve, but I think we did a good job, and we're going to fix or make better anything that, that we can. So that's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you. Councilman Collier?
Yes, sir. I'd like to also reiterate that the water main break was done in a timely manner. And also, I agree with the other councilman that we did do some things right and we did do some things wrong, and that I'm glad we're going to take the course to correct anything that we need to. And I also would like to kind of refer to that Redbird project on how it's going to be bringing a lot of people and a lot of things to this community for as far as the development in the project. And I've also noticed that some of the other areas that, like the Tammy Fadler project, looks like they're starting to get it developed to where they can start selling it off. So it looks like we're kind of headed in the right direction on those areas. And that's all I got, sir.
All right, thank you. Councilman Vins?
Yeah, I was wondering on that disaster, unfortunately, we had Saturday. Is there a way to put any kind of shut off valves so that we won't lose those kind of, at all the wells? Is there a way to where we could have shut something off or have a valve when an emergency happens, they can push a button or stop? I mean,
So as part of our review and conversations today, what really hamstrung us on Saturday was the number of valves in the system that did not work. 12, Chuck, total? 11.
oh,
11 valves. What should have been a 2-valve operation turned into an 11-valve operation because valves either worked partially or didn't work at all. So between that and trying to reduce pressure through the use of some fire hydrants in the area, the guys eventually were able to get in the hole and sleeve the break. There is certainly, I've seen these machines in action where you can do a hot tap, a valve insertion. Our crew does not have that piece of equipment, but Chuck and I talked about that today. If we'd had that, or if we had an on-call arrangement with the companies, the contractors that do hot tap valve insertions, having an arrangement with them where they'd be available to us in these emergency situations, that we could look at that as well. So I think either having the piece of equipment or having an arrangement with people who do have the equipment, because if we had been able to insert a valve in the place of that one that was in Joker's Park, this would have been a very quick fix, and it would have been one where we most certainly would have avoided the boil advisory that we're under right now. Having equipment in place that you expect to work,
right.
and it doesn't, is tough.
I mean, I know we all slip on, maintenance sometimes by not checking them, I guess, often to see if these greased or whatever the heck they need to be done. Is that just one of the, I mean,
There's various schools of thought on exercising valves.
Yeah.
In our case, because they've been in the ground for as long as they have, and I think the maintenance on them was deferred for as long as as it
Like,
was.
we don't think about it because things
If
are
you,
fine.
if you touch some of those older valves, you're going to create a problem as opposed to perhaps advert a problem because that valve's going to blow.
I mean, it's understandable. You don't think about it for a long time. Things are going good. You just smooth until we get a disaster like this.
I think what we certainly can do, if we were to either work with a contractor or have our own equipment available to us, is to, say in the case of this, we've already identified one. We know one for sure didn't work at all. And there were several that, like I said, either partially or also didn't work. Is that we need to go back in line at those locations, make a determination as to whether or not that valve needs to be replaced. And with no interruption of service to our residents, we can do a new valve insertion, and leave the old one in place, but have one that's then put in line that would then work, that we know is going to work if something like this happens again.
Yeah, I mean, great job, trying to do what we could to do. And I understand that, but when you don't think about a disaster, just like any kind of disaster, everything's fine till something happens. That's when we finally, so if we can kind of prepare ourselves, hopefully for anything like this again, we could be on top of it, make us that much better. So. But other than that, it's a good job. It's just unfortunately a situation, that happened. And it just, we'll learn from it and get better from it. But like you said, I mean, there was a lot of good things happen, but we all know there's a lot of bad things unfortunately happen. So that's it, sir.
All righty, Councilman Tenen.
You guys, Chuck, you might need to educate me on this, but I drove by there a couple times Saturday night and you guys were fixing, from what I seen, a live break. I mean, you weren't able to shut the water off to fix a break. Is that right?
We weren't able to shut it off completely.
Right.
Go ahead and turn your microphone on, Chuck.
And so I think I know there's issues with the boil order. But again, we could have been shut down completely with no water if we wouldn't have the parts to fix it. So I'm giving you guys 10 stars for being out there I drove by 10:30, maybe 11 o'clock, and you guys were still hitting it. And I can see where it was a hassle what they were boiling our water, but I mean, Cape had a similar situation not too long ago, and they were shut down for 3 days, I believe.
Yeah, they didn't have the parts because they actually
Right.
contacted me for looking
Right.
for parts, but we had the parts. They were on the edge of the ditch ready to go. It just,
Yeah,
the issue was, when you have to cut and sleeve a main, you want the water off.
oh, absolutely.
We got it off as much as we could and we just like, this is all we're gonna get. So
Right.
yeah, we had to do some of it under pressure.
Well, I was just happy to have water so I could flush my toilet and take a shower, and you guys were out there
Yeah.
hitting it pretty hard, and but I understand the concerns with the boil order, but until we have a situation like this, I don't think we can ever learn anyhow. So I think you guys did an awesome job, and maybe next time we can not have the boil order, but there was a little, I was eating supper at Tetros at about 7:30, and I'm still drinking water at 7:30. So I wasn't drinking it, but it was given to me. And then I guess they found out and shut the place down, maybe at 8:30. I don't know.
Yeah, at one point, we thought we had it shut off enough, and we did. The water was, it was shut off quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, we're getting parts ready, we're getting it, and then all of a sudden we got a surge, and our dish is filled up, and I think I think the plant started feeding us more water, so we had to shut them back. And we got to the point where we turned our wells off. Like, we have to shut them off because literally it took us, once we was able to get in, it took us 15 minutes to fix it. The whole issue all night was just trying to get the water stopped.
Yeah. So some places the water was real muddy, I guess, coming through the lines.
Some places, but
Okay.
we got the repair approximately around 10 o'clock. I left 3 guys here and they worked till 1 o'clock, just opening fire hydrants to relieve the air and to do some, little bit of flushing.
Yeah.
You know, we needed to do a little bit. We didn't want to waste too much water.
Sure.
But
Yeah, but like I said, you know, I'm sorry about the boil order, but I was real happy that we had water flowing really quick.
Yeah.
And then on a different note, I took some time, I guess it was Saturday night, to go see the light show.
yeah,
That's pretty good.
yeah,
And then Sam, that was really respectful and, you know, for the head down thing. So thank you. That's all I got. But I'm not okay. I'm a little stressed out. That's about it. You know, that water boil really stressed me out pretty bad. I had to take a couple Tylenol. That's all I got, Mayor.
All righty, thank you. As mayor, I want to address the water main break myself. That occurred Saturday at Lee and Main and South Mill. A contractor working for AT&T Sunrise Telecom struck the 8-inch water main at approximately 11:30 a.m. City crews were dispatched to the area and worked to isolate the break due to the volume of water. It required utilizing 12 valves and 11 valves and 2 fire hydrants to reduce pressure enough for the crews to make the repair. By 5:30 p.m., pressure in the water system was dropping to a point where the city notified the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, who instructed the city to issue the boil water advisory. Repairs were completed by 8:20 p.m. And I'd like to say I stopped by about that time. It was right around 8 or so after I had dinner. And the 2 guys that were in the hole trying to cut that 8-inch main were up to their knees in water, running water, and they still tried to get it cut and finally did, and was able to get the bad piece out and then cut a new piece and go on from there. But they did a great job. The water boil advisory requires us to receive 2 consecutive negative bacteria reports or bacteria tests before the advisory can be lifted. During this time, water is safe for bathing and laundry. It is not safe for consumption. The city sent resident notifications through our website, Code Red system, text platform, text Festus to 474747, social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and released information to KJFF, Leader Publications, KTVI, KMOX, or KMOV, and KSDK. The event has shown us that there are some deficiencies in the Code Red platform that we are working to address. And I might add that even though we notified the main TV stations, it still took them another day before they put anything, you know, it wasn't news to them. So, you know, the Code Red system, we're not happy with, and we're gonna do some things to fix that. Greg and I also talked about using the alarm system that we have with the speakers throughout the city. And I think we're going to be able to use that and take care of it. But as far as I'm concerned, and I will tell anybody, the responsibility for what we did lies directly on my shoulders. And I take full responsibility for it. Chuck, the water and sewer department guys that worked, did a great job. But we are going to look at what we've experienced make some recommendations, make some changes, make it better. So if we ever have to do this again, we'll know how to do it and do it right. So with that, I will,
I have a couple of bits of information to relay. If I
okay,
could, just
go
real quick.
ahead.
I'm sorry. So my apologies. I shared with you the information on Sunrise Telecom. Also, we were working with JC and the guys at HW Harrell Distributing. Bottled water will be available for residents after 10 a.m. on the Festus Public Library parking lot. We were able to get them to bring us about 5 or 6 pallets, which contain about, I believe they contain 60 or 50 cases each. So we'll have water available for residents tomorrow morning after 10 o'clock on the library parking lot. We would ask that they limit themselves to 1 case per household. And we will look to continue to do that for as long as we need to, but hopefully with a positive, or I should say a negative test tomorrow and a subsequent follow-up negative test, we won't have to do that for very long. I did relay the information on the contact information for Sunrise Telecom. And that's all I have, sir.
All righty, thank you.
Sam, real quick.
Yes,
So
Jim.
was the water line broke by a underground bore?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They were using a directional bore, one of those moles, those veneer machines.
Yeah.
And it hit the main. It went right through it. So there's a big hole and then there's a crack that extended out from it. So it was substantial.
yes.
Of course, on Saturday.
And of course on Saturday.
Right.
They just didn't see they didn't mark
The line was correctly marked and was dead on. The blue marks for the water line were on mark. They weren't even off by a foot.
how they ended up doing that.
Just want to deepen those for.
Just went too deep.
You know, the problem with those, I don't know, you'd have to ask them. I'm not going to comment on why it did, but those directional bores, you know, you hit one good hard rock along the way and that thing's going north, south, east or west. And the next thing you know, you're into utility.
Is there anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none.